Welcome to Self-Care Sound Mind podcast. In this space, we're going to talk about the losses that we don't always have the language for. Because grief isn't only about losing someone we love. Sometimes it's about the end of a relationship, a friendship that's faded, a dream that's changed, or even the life that we thought we'd have. In this series, we're naming the kinds of grief that often go unseen and learning how to move through them with compassion. On tonight's episode, we are going to talk about when relationships end and friendships fade. Our special guest tonight is LaVante Dorsey, LCSW, and we'll be reviewing her book, Crushed After a Breakup, Healing the Heart That Keeps Picking the Wrong Person. I'm your host, Kiara Moore, with Kiara Moore Therapeutic Services, and do me a favor and like and share this post. Tell someone, tell a friend that they want to join the live now so they can learn about the grief that we often don't talk about. Welcome everyone to Self-Care Sound Mind podcast. I am Kiara Moore and I am super excited for episode 2 of the grief that we don't talk about. And in tonight's episode, I'm so excited to talk about the fading of friendships and relationships. We often hear about divorce and breakups when it relates to loss, but we don't always talk about the friendship loss. So we're going to touch on both of those in tonight's episode. Again, this is the Self-Care Sound Mind podcast, and on season 3, we're talking about the grief that we are not always given the space for, or that we don't always have the name for. It's not just about death, but some of the deepest griefs that we carry, it has nothing to do with the loss of a person. Sometimes it's the loss of a dream, the version of ourselves, or the life that we expected. And we want to make sure that we're talking about it in a way that is giving hope and the possibility of healing. So tonight we're going to talk with my friend LaVante Dorsey, and we are going to welcome her to the show. Hi, LaVante.
Hello.
So I'm so excited. But before I jump right into it, I'm going to let you introduce yourself, what you do, who you are, the author, the speaker, the TED talker, all the things.
Oh, not the TED talk. I'm being my best behavior today. First off, I love your introduction.
Oh, thank you.
I was laughing though. I said the apostrophe in my name just cuts people up because baby, they can put it anywhere.
I realized that when I was like, and I even went on Facebook and I was like, it's too late. I can't change it.
It's okay. It's okay. Y'all see where it is. It's okay, friend. I forgive you. This ain't gonna ruin our friendship.
Please don't let this be what fades the friendship, because first of all, this intro gave me so much trouble. And when I saw that, I was like, I ain't changing it.
No, you can't. It was so beautiful. Some things you gotta let go. But thank you for having me. Yes, my name is LaVante Dorsey. I'm the owner of LaVante and Dorsey and Associates. You said all the things about me. So yes, in this real time next week, depending on when you listen to this, I will be doing my first TED Talk, and I am super. We'll go with excited, with nervous.
Well, yeah, but
yeah,
that's such a great thing.
Yeah, thank you. I was just gonna make it what it is. It's funny because the next day I have a big event that following day too. So,
well, that's because you are the speaker extraordinaire, the expert of experts, which is why you're on the show with us today.
Oh gosh! Well, yes, thank you.
And the author.
Yes, of Crushed After a Breakup, your 14-day guide of what God wants you to know. Not just me, the therapist, but what God wants you to know as well. Thank you. And it's a journal that not only details my process through a breakup, but also gives a guide and questions for people to dig a little bit deeper and take the time to process the breakup versus just moving on to the next person.
And I think that's what is so important about why I want to do this series, is because, number one, everybody grieves, right?
Yeah.
And we don't always get validation in grief because some things are just seen as a part of life. Some things are just, you're expected to just handle and move forward. and what we are experiencing on an individual level, it really does affect how we operate in the world.
Definitely.
And we're told things that aren't really helpful. So to have an actual guy with real tools and real like a guide to just help you through the other end, because you go through some real stuff when relationships change.
Oh, yes.
Some real stuff. So one of those things that we don't talk about, and I don't want to completely skip over the relationship end, but the friendships ending,
Yeah.
that is something that we don't talk enough about.
No.
I feel like people expect the end of a romantic relationship sometimes. Like the world is so crazy right now with all of these expectations we put on relationships and what you think you expect from people and what your non-negotiables are and
Yes.
all of those things. And if you can't meet that, then you know what, then you're not the person for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But with friendship, we don't really think about the end of a friendship and how that affects a person. So what are your thoughts when it comes to that process of losing a friend, whether it's drifting apart or transitions in a relationship? What have you noticed, seen, or what can you share about that?
Yeah, I usually can only speak. I talk from personal experience always first, and then I'll throw in what I've seen clinically. But from personal experience, I actually have lost a really good friend that I had since high school.
Mm.
And some things transpired, and I was able to look back and see my part in it and feel like, oh, okay, I messed up. Oh, okay. And the misinterpretation, but even trying to come back from that at times,
Yeah.
the other person has to be receptive to it, and you don't
Exactly.
always encounter that. And then just like in a love relationship, that kind of wound to the friendship or relationship, it takes work to recover it. And
Yes.
a lot of times we don't have the skills, the desire, the time, or put forth the effort to do
Mm-hmm.
so. So with this one friend in particular, even when we tried to have that moment, it just never fully recovered.
Right.
And it comes to a point where you have to say, well, that season is over. You have to let it go, but it still hurts. I find myself, iPhones get you. It
Yeah,
pops
they
up
do.
pictures and memories. And I'm just like,
They've taken the place of Facebook memories.
I know. And I'm like, oh man, I miss my friend.
Mhm.
But what can you
But
do?
you missed the version of the friendship you had.
The version of the friendship you had, because it would not be the same. I mean, because it's fair for people, depending on how you've hurt them, to make
Hmm.
a decision to say, no, I actually don't want to be your friend anymore.
Yeah.
That's something we have to accept, which is actually quite challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think about too, we're getting a skewed when I think, because okay, I love watching my housewives and my Potomacs and all the things, and they argue as friends. I'm like, are y'all even really
Are
friends?
y'all even friends? Because don't do that to me.
But this is the example that we're shown on a
Yes.
constant basis of make up to break up to be good to break up again, and it's just a
Hmm.
constant loop. And we got to think how much of that is actually permeate, like going into
Yes.
our souls, and we're
Yes.
believing it to be true. It's tricky. It's a tricky world.
It is. And I have to apologize now for all of my psychomotor agitation and scratching my hair and all the things. A spider was in my hair and it's freaked me out. And it's been 2 days. And so I keep scratching. So I
How'd
just
you
have
get
to
it
make
out? How'd you know?
well, because I was talking to someone and they were like, you've gotta wait a minute. And I was like, ah! I think I walked into a spider web going into their office.
Oh,
And yeah, so I'm sorry because I keep
no, it's okay.
making sure that because
The
in my mind
people
it's
understand.
yes. So sorry about that. But I was gonna say you're absolutely right in what we see as the version of friendship and even the version of relationships we're supposed to accept. I saw this crazy reel today, and the guy was like, you know, if you want to leave after the first time your baby dad cheat, then you the one who's breaking up your family. And I was like, what kind of illiterate? Let me just scroll off of that because that makes no sense.
We're
Okay,
not subscribing to that.
we're no, right? But we get this skewed view, like you said, of what friendships and relationships are supposed to be. We're supposed to fight. I mean, and they fist fighting sometimes, and then they want to come back and be like, no, like
I love you.
I
They cry.
they want to cry and make listen. No, you have to be careful about how you treat people.
Correct.
And like you said, when a boundary is crossed, that other person has the will and the right to say, I accept your apology,
Yes.
which is language I'm teaching my children. We no longer say it's okay when
Correct.
someone harms you.
Correct.
I accept your apology. I'm accepting and acknowledging that you did apologize, but it's very much not okay, right? So I accept your apology. However, I no longer feel safe, right? And either we can work back up to that safety, or I get to decide if I want to. But the other thing that I, just want to point out, like, because romantic relationships, those are more normalized in society, the breakups are normalized. The friendship breakups don't really get that much attention. And that loss feels like you're losing part of your story, right? Especially with someone you grow up with, someone you, had a time in your life that was really meaningful. I think about when my brother passed, I remember saying to myself, like, well, who am I now without him? Because he was a part of my life, my childhood. And it's very similar with some of those really close losses, because we do have that shared history, that emotional intimacy and that connection with identity, right? I think of all of my close friends in pockets. I have my childhood friends.
Yeah.
I have my high school friends. I have my friends from like my Upward Bound program. I have my college friends. Now in my life, I have my tennis friends. I have my church friends. Like everyone, I have my Thera friends. Like everyone is kind of in a category based on some sort of milestone in my life. And when that's disrupted, it feels off.
It does. And even when I think, so what I've noticed is, I've had a couple disruptive friendships now that I think about it. And some, it comes down to when because you have to be intentional in the effort of these friendships and the upkeep with them. And when I think of some of my older ones from when I was younger and growing up that we still kept in contact, it's really hurtful when you call and you don't get a call back, or it takes forever. And I don't think people think of the true effort you have to put in to maintain these, to feel important to someone, because we all want connection and to feel cared for. And a lot of times that lacks and we lose it. And then we're just stuck with, well, I know the person, but would I still consider them my friend?
Yeah. Which is interesting. Because that our next point, it was such a perfect segue into our next point of like how different friendships fade, right? So you have like the slow drifting friendships or the conflict and betrayal. And then like, this is the one that I find myself in the most, which is that life transition, like whether it's marriage or parenting or relocation. And that one where it's like, there's no right or wrong answer. It's kind of just how it is. And her name is escaping me. I know it's not the person I'm thinking of, so I'm not even gonna butcher the author, but the person who wrote the Let Them Theory. Did you read that book or listen to that book on Audible?
I haven't, but yeah.
Okay. So in the Let Them Theory, she talks about how friendships fade, right? And part of that is something I never consider. It's just proximity. We are most affected by those in our proximity. And if you think about it, in other terms, not to get too like deep in like therapy, but like even when you think about like impoverished thinking or impoverished, we'll just talk about impoverished areas, right? Most crime is committed in impoverished areas, not because there's anything wrong with the person, but because of the proximity of the problem, right? If there's no food, if there are no jobs, if there are no opportunities in this particular area to help, then crime increases in that area. Not because I want to target you, but you are in my proximity, right? Like that's kind of how crime works. Like it happens within proximity. You become friends as a child with the people in your proximity.
Yes.
You know, in your class, in your daycare. It's not until later in life that you may have a little bit more choice, but again, it's still based on proximity. It's probably based on your grade, you know, your class, what time you have recess or lunch. Like it's all about proximity. Well, what happens as you get older? Your proximity changes. So the friends, you know, that I created, or the friendships that were created in college, which was like Westchester was like the best time of my life. Like some of those friends, I thought I would be friends with forever. And when I see them, it's nothing but love.
Yeah.
But I wish the proximity was still there.
Yeah.
Because I would feel more connected. I would feel like it's a real friendship. I would feel like it was something that I can actually call a friendship, right? They'll always be my friend, but because we're not engaging in active friendship, you know, I'm not going to every wedding. I'm not going to the baby showers, right? I'm not even invited to those things because I'm not in proximity of their life anymore. I still send love and support, but the proximity is not there. And the only real friendships that are maintained are the ones that require the additional effort, right? Like I am going to call this person because that's still a part of my routine versus I saw that person all the time. I spent time with that person, but I don't see or spend time with them now.
Yeah.
So that proximity piece, it's how we create friendships, but it's also what causes them to fade.
Yeah. And I think what's interesting though is, and I love the thought and the clearing up of it being the proximity component, because a lot of people will just say, oh, you changing up, or you acting brand new, or now she got a man and she acting like that, or she done had a kid and she ain't got time for me because all she
I don't.
Kids.
Because they take everything from you.
Okay? But it hurts people because they want that quality time and that closeness with you. And sometimes people aren't mentally prepared for the shift that needs to happen through life transitions.
I share probably once a week. The transition a woman goes through within motherhood is physical, mental, psychological, spiritual, natural, all the O's, right? Everyone else around them witnesses the transformation, but they are not being transformed. The partner witnesses the transformation, but their transformation doesn't begin until they hold the baby. They don't become or feel, I mean, not that they can't make emotional connection, but once that baby is out of the mother, then it feels real. But it's been real, honey.
Since the moment I found out. Maybe before, because the hormones already started shifting.
And if you was sick like me, you was like, well, when does this end? But the difference, again, they witness it. They're not experiencing it. And that happens afterwards as well, because the transformation, you go from being the vessel to now being maybe the source of life, or you're the preferred parent, you're that comfort. You're still doing all the things. It's not until they start looking at you and be like, I don't want you to hold me no more, that you start to get a little little piece when they want to run around, and now they don't want you to be all up in their face, right?
Uh-huh.
But it takes some time for that to happen.
Yeah.
And so when everyone around you expects you to be the same person, honey, I done been to the cocoon, got my wings as a butterfly. I can't caterpillar with you all day. The transformation has happened.
Now. Yeah, I'm different.
I'm different.
And I think that speaks to really good friends who can see you and who can hear you in the depths of what you're needing in these transitions, because they don't try to fight against it. They try to meet you where you are, and you guys can adjust and evolve together, which unfortunately isn't a skill set everyone has. But if more people could adapt that, we would be in good shape.
Right. But that's so important, because while you're transforming, right, you're still learning you. And so I asked you what you need. That's not good enough, because I don't even always know what I need.
I don't even know.
But when it's not, when you have a friend that's not only thinking about what they're getting from you, but also what they can give you, then that's when you have that deeper connection. And some of those friendships are far and few in between, because the majority of people want their needs met first.
Yeah.
So what I can take from you is overshadowed by the fact that you need anything, let alone what can I give to you.
Correct.
And outside of, the transitions of a parent, when you're the helper,
yeah,
sometimes people be like, oh, well, how you doing? Don't ask me now, honey. You done talk for 30 minutes. It doesn't matter how I feel now, because this conversation is about you, and that's okay. I will be billing you for this conversation.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Don't bill them. Don't bill them.
But sometimes it feels, once, if I have to tell you that you've not asked about what's going on with me, and I'm struggling, fighting for my life over here in these streets,
yeah,
then I'm going to recategorize and redefine our friendship.
Yeah. Because and there's moments where, of course, one friend might need more than the other.
Yes.
You always still want to kind of share time and say, okay, girl, I'm done dumping. Now what you got?
Right. Now what you got going on? Right. Like, it's give and take. And that's perfectly fine. But when there's only take, and there's never give, then that's when it feels problematic. And so for me, friendships can be hard. Well, relationships in general can be hard for me personally, not to make them, because, I can talk to anybody if I feel like it.
Yeah.
Just be clear about that. If I feel like it. I can create, because sometimes I'll be in spaces and I'm like, yeah, I don't want people. And I'll just be like, do in the corner. And then there's some days where I'm just like, So if I want people, I can make a connection with anybody.
Yeah.
But I think it becomes very clear if this is going to be a mutual relationship.
Yeah.
And
help me understand though, because I think there is that kind of tricky spot where you are the person who is the helper and always go to, and that's what you've taught people to expect from you. And then when it's time where you're like, well, I actually do need, they just haven't learned that about you. So then what is it that you need to self-reflect to say, okay, I might be expecting something from people that I haven't even told them they need.
I'm going to be honest. I'm no longer a part of those relationships.
Okay.
So I that has happened so much that, and I'm never not gonna be like, I'm not usually, let me rephrase that. I'm not usually the type to just be like, I'm not talking to you. Like, I've had one friendship ultimatum in my life, and I was just like, I can't enable what's happening here.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could talk about this. We could work through it. And then they ultimately decided to end the friendship. I've also had situations where, going back to what we were talking about before, being a parent before my other friends, they didn't understand some of the how I had to sacrifice things with them for my child. And later on, they were like, yeah, my bad. That was crazy for me to ask, because I get it now, right?
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. And we worked through it, right? Like those are the conflicts that I'm not one of the people that, I mean, I don't like conflict, but I'm not going to shy away from it, especially if it's like, okay, well, let's just have the conversation. Let's fix it. We may not understand each other's point. We can agree to disagree, and it doesn't have to ruin the friendship. But if you are going to make it be the end of the friendship, I'm also not going to be like, well, no, because I'm going to respect your choice. But I think since, now at this age and stage of my life, knowing that I can fall prey to only being the giver, and not ever receiving, I don't allow relationships to form into that. I'm intentional now that, not that I need it all the time.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to create relationships with people, they're going to be people who also have the capacity for me, and respect when I say, I don't have the capacity for this right now. I really wish I could help, but I can't help today. Because today,
I ain't got it
in me. Struggling. I'm on the bus today. And I don't know when my stop comes. Okay?
Yeah.
Not today. We'll try again tomorrow.
Yeah.
So like, even with my sister, sometimes she'll just get on the phone and start just blurting, and then she'll be like, I'm sorry, I didn't even ask you. Do you have time for me today? And I'd be like, proceed, right? And there are times she's like, do you have that? No, I actually don't. I can't do this right now. I can't be what you need for me to be, because I ain't got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And once I started speaking up and actually sharing that, I feel like I felt stronger in those friendships that can handle that. But I also don't allow new friendships to form where it only feels one-sided. I mean, because I've done some crazy stuff in the name of friendships that I'm like, girl, what is wrong with you? You are being used. Like, why are you, girl? Like, you are being used. But for the sake of, whether there's like children involved, or it's just like, well, I just want to help. Well, all help is not good help.
True. And
you can't save people from lessons that life's trying to teach them.
You got that right. You can't be the savior.
No. I no longer try. So those life transitions. Now, obviously, betrayal is one of those things where it's a little harder to recover from, but it's not impossible.
True.
Right.
Depending on where you are, what you desire. And I think the effort you see the other person trying to make to repair or show up different, or work within themselves to figure out, why did I even do this?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is true or not, but when Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce,
oh Lord,
she didn't just take him back. He had to go to therapy to really do the work to figure out what was the pattern underneath that led him to that.
Really?
Yes. Now, I'm going to take it because she's so smart. I'm sure it's the truth. I don't know, though, in today's world. But it makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they're just like, oh, I'll never do it again. No. You need to figure out why you did it in the first place. Right. What you need to heal or work on or work through. And then we can rediscuss how you can show up differently.
Right.
Or just put a Band-Aid on it.
No.
You need the whole
you can't put a Band-Aid on something that needs stitches and surgery and all the other things. No.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that's important to mention, because there a lot of times friendships, relationships, in the next episode, we actually talk about grieving the life that you thought you would have. And that conversation is good. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. But kind of like piecing the two together, sometimes because of shame or embarrassment, or because of time invested, We stay in things longer than we should.
Yeah.
And we also don't hold up boundaries that we probably should, right? Because of fear of it just not working out. Now, it's your choice to reconcile. I'm never going to tell somebody not to reconcile. But like you said, the reconciliation is not just forgiveness. The reconciliation is a repairing of the infraction.
Yeah.
So if you're not actively repairing the relationship by doing whatever is necessary to repair, whether that's, working on rebuilding a connection, working on rebuilding trust, working on, changing behaviors and habits and things like that, if that repairment's not happening, then there is no reconciliation.
Yeah. And you'll see that in practice when in a friendship or relationship, the person who has done the betrayal, and if you bring it back up in any light, or if there's a trigger for you and their response is, you're still talking about that, or I thought we moved past this. Well, no, because clearly you're still doing something that is triggering this feeling in me, and versus being a comfort or a safe space, or
I'm sorry that I've caused you to feel triggered. I'm trying to rebuild your trust. I'm doing, you know what I mean? Like reassurance, and I'm in the effort, right?
Yeah, you left feeling like the bad guy because you done brought it up.
Right. And I do, so in couples counseling, if this does come up, I do acknowledge with the person who has been betrayed. Like, if you are making the choice to stay and to reconcile, you do also have to allow for the repairing to happen. Yeah. Because if they are making efforts and you are stonewalling and you just like, look at them over there going to therapy, I don't know what they think that's not really going to help. Yeah. If you're not acknowledging the effort the same way, if the person is not putting in the effort, again, we can't repair that infraction.
Correct.
And sometimes, sometimes the conversations need to happen. The mediation needs to happen. You might have to bring your best friend to therapy one day and be like, listen, like, something is different. I'm not sure what happened. Like, the relationship is too important for me to not understand or not want to repair. Because here's a big thing for me, and this happens a lot for me. I will share it. My name is Kiera, and this is my truth. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of times I offend people.
Okay.
Not intentionally, but I'm not told that I offended them. And what happens is they carry that offense for so long that it leaves me wondering, why are they treating me so differently? They've not talked to me. They're not giving me the same banter, or they're not responding to me. And then I'm left questioning myself. Well, what the heck did I do?
Yeah.
What did I say? Because I know me, and I know when it happens. When I am anxious, which is often, since my brother died, I have had very bad anxiety. And becoming a parent has increased the anxiety. So the triggers are different. But when I am anxious, I verbally shut down. And it's harder for me to say, I'm not upset with you. I'm very anxious. I can't control my tone right now because I'm trying to regulate my body, because I'm very dysregulated. And you're trying to have a conversation with me and I can't have it. Or I'm very anxious about this event that I'm planning and I need help, but I don't know how to ask for help in this moment without it sounding very curt and rude. And sometimes if I say, can you do this? In my head, it comes out is, can you do this? And in their ears, they're hearing, well, can you just do it this way? Right? Which is also why I don't usually ask for help in those moments, because I know that this happens often. So it's a pretty bad cycle. I'm working on it though.
Okay.
I recognize that I'm working on it. I'm in therapy.
Yeah.
But the point is, I don't know in that moment that I've harmed you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't tell me, so I can attempt to make a repair.
Yeah.
And then now we just have a drift,
Yep.
and I'm left questioning what happened.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll either say something to the person like, hey, did I do something? I've noticed we've been different. Or something else will happen and it'll kind of just come out that these are all the ways that I've upset them in some way, or this is how you always are. And then I'm left like, dagger to the heart, because it's never my intention to harm somebody.
Yeah.
Now, because I'm my own worst critic, I am feeling so bad that I didn't even know all this time you felt this way about me. And here I am skipping through the daffodils thinking life is great. And you are holding this secret grudge against me. And and in turn, our relationship is affected, because now it's making me wonder, why weren't you comfortable enough to tell me that I hurt you?
And that's why it's important too to just put voice to it. Say the thing, as my friend Brittany says, just say the thing, and we can work through it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's people's own, kind of stuff they need to work through where they haven't found their voice or the comfortability, or they're afraid of how they'll offend you or how it will hurt things, not realizing the reverse effect it will still have if you don't say the things. And I was thinking too, sometimes people, versus addressing the issue, they ghost you. And I remember Dr. Joy said, you just don't do that. You have to, one, release it for yourself, two, give the person the explanation so they can improve or offer repair, like you said.
Yes, and that's perfect to like how you process that friendship grief, because again, if your friend makes you upset, that's going to be difficult. And you're it might take time to address it. It might take time for you to process your feelings, but you have to address it, right? Because again, if you're secretly harboring this issue, they're gonna feel like nothing is wrong, and then there's just bitterness and resentment growing. So allowing yourself to acknowledge what happened, or acknowledging a loss that's taken place, whether it's because of proximity, whether it's because of, a change in interest. I mean, for the last 7 school years, I've been working out of middle school, and one of the hardest transitions in the children's lives is that 5th grade to 6th grade, because you've been in the same class from kindergarten or 1st grade to 5th grade, and Susie Sally Joe has been your best friend, but over the summer she done turned into Sally Joe. She done dropped Susie, and now she just Sally Joe, and she dressed different and she looked different, and y'all go to a school where other kids are there, and she been your friend all this time, but now she want to go be friends with these other people, and you left like, I thought we were supposed to be in this. Life just falling apart, right? Because the hormones are changing, life is changing, their friends are changing, school looks different. All of these things are happening, and they're left like overwhelmed with that change.
And that's at every stage. Middle, high, college, graduate, and all that.
Parenthood, all of it. And so if it's hard back then, it's certainly going to maintain being difficult now. We just have to be more intentional, though, about how we address it. So number one, acknowledging, right? And I think it's important, too, that if a friendship fades, whether it's proximity, whether there was conflict, or whether you just decided that because this has happened, too, where it's just like, we're just not the same people. And we don't enjoy the same things. And that's fine, because I still love you as a person. We probably just won't hang out all the time. And that's fine, right? So not villainizing yourself or the other person. If a friendship ends and there's no there's no actual villain in the story, there's no need to create one.
Correct. Just let it go. Let it go.
We can just go our adult ways and
Yeah.
continue life. And then also not allowing, because this happens, right, all the time, not allowing friendships and relationships that did end to be what we use to always uh how do I want to say that? We don't want the failed relationships to be what guides new relationships, right?
Yeah.
We want to take the lessons learned, but we don't want to take that skewed view of this is how it always is, right? If I'm going into every relationship thinking that I'm only going to be used,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to create a self-fulfilling prophecy, or I'm just going to be a very distrusting person and not create real relationships anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So not doing that.
Not
So
to do you any good.
can you share anything from the book, any tips or tools that you feel like would be helpful when it comes to um, managing the loss of a relationship?
Absolutely. Like, so the first part of the book really just has you sit with it and really dissect it and kind of talk through what you're feeling physically, what you're thinking mentally, what the hardest part of it is. Because a lot of times we just want to skate past the pain. Like, how can I numb
Mhm.
it? How can I move forward? No,
Right.
we have to sit in it. And then we look at kind of the things you knew, but you ignored.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
We look, yeah,
but you ignore it.
because we do it all the time.
You wrote that down.
and and naming them, we process through. I think the biggest thing is, who are you now, and
Mm,
what values do you have, and what will you no longer stand for. And we talk about naming those things, like you said, so you're not bringing the heartbreak of that friendship relationship breakup into anything new that will be coming, so
yeah.
that you can trust again. And of course, you're not going to touch all of them, because you done probably tuck down some triggers and unconscious things deep down inside that are only going to come up a little bit down the line.
Yeah.
But it's having that self-awareness to know, like, this is what is coming up for me, this is how it feels, and then to be able to express it in a healthy way to whoever you're in relationship with.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the book is the scriptures in the back, where we just focus
Mm,
on who God says you are and what God says you can have in this lifetime. Because I think a lot of people, we're basing it off of a very skewed viewpoint when we look at social media and
yeah.
TV and all that external stimuli that is not healthy for us.
All the lies that we tell ourselves that we should be.
Yes. And so, as a woman of faith, it was important for me to add that in, and for whatever, but helping people to find grounding in wherever you find grounding. But for
Mhm.
me, it's the word of God.
I love that. So I like to leave every episode. Okay, you're back.
Got
I was like, wait, where'd you go? Excuse me, don't leave too early.
you.
And
No.
I do want to wrap up. I like to leave with these reflection questions, and I will make sure that the questions are also in the chat. So as you are going along and you are recognizing, like, hey, maybe I am grieving the loss of a friendship, or I'm grieving the loss of a relationship, and this also applies to familial relationships. So it could be a relationship with a parent that's no
Yeah.
longer healthy, a relationship with a sibling or a cousin or aunt or whomever, that there was some sort of infraction and you might be grieving the loss of that. I'm seeing a lot of loss with relationships with parents
Mhm.
and all of that. So all of these same tools can be applied to managing and giving voice and name to that type of grief as well. So questions I want you to ask to yourself: what did that friendship represent in your life? What did that friendship give you that felt meaningful or irreplaceable?
Mhm.
Are you grieving the person, the version of yourself you were in that friendship, or both?
Mhm.
And the last question is, what does closure look like for you, even if that relationship never formally ended?
Mhm.
These are some reflection questions I would like you to ask yourself and just really do some reflecting and thinking to see, okay, where do I stand when it comes to that relationship that ended? And what do I need to do to further get to the side of healing and compassion and just giving a voice to what you feel. So thank you for tuning into this episode. Thank you to my special guest, LaVante, apostrophe at the end. I will make note of that for the future. Thank you so much for joining me for this conversation and have a great evening. Bye.